A tamoxifen study claims that a combination of chemotherapy and hormone therapy, tamoxifen, is more effective than tamoxifen alone in preventing breast cancer. In the study, a group of researchers from the United States and Canada studied 1477 postmenopausal women with early-stage breast cancer. The women were randomly assigned to one of three study groups. So let's take a look at these three groups. So Group A, 361 patients, received tamoxifen alone on a daily basis for 5 years. Group B received chemotherapy and tamoxifen for 6 months, then completed 5 years of tamoxifen treatment. Group C received chemo alone for 6 months. So this group received chemo and tamoxifen. This group is just chemo alone, followed by 5 years of tamoxifen, same way this finished up. All 1477 patients knew which treatment they were receiving. In this study, which is the control group? Okay, so what is a control group? So we have two groups. We have a treatment group, well, two types of groups. We have a treatment group, or sometimes several treatment groups. They're receiving the treatment that is under consideration. So you're trying to find out if a certain treatment works. And the treatment group is the people that get that treatment. The control group, what are they about? They do not receive the treatment under consideration. Why they're there is to help control the experiment, because you want to find out if the treatment is really working. How do you find that out? You give the treatment to one group, or more than one group, and the other group, the control group, does not receive the treatment. And then you see if there's a difference in the results. If there's a difference, then the treatment must be having that effect, because one group didn't receive the treatment, the control group, the other group does receive the treatment. And so that way you know if the treatment is making a difference rather than it just being some other factor getting in there. This is how we conduct experiments. This is an experiment always has these components. Let me write that. An experiment, it always has a control group. So that's what it means to be an experiment. It always has a control group, a group that does not receive the treatment. That's how you know if the treatment's really working. Whereas if I was to take some kind of new vitamin that supposedly heals the common cold, and I would say, yeah, I just gave it to a bunch of people and they didn't get colds. Well, how do we know that really made a difference? Maybe they weren't going to get colds anyway. Maybe they were just people who weren't going to get colds, or at least not right then. The only way we're going to know is if we give the treatment, the new vitamin, to some people and then not to others, the control group that does not receive the treatment. And then we see if there's a difference, right? If the people receiving the treatment get better than the other people, then we believe the drug is working. If they both have the same results, then we don't think the drug, is making any difference. That's how we conduct an experiment. That's what makes it different than just an observational study, right? This helps us determine results. Okay, so in this one, then the control group does not receive the treatment. Now the question is, you might say, well, yeah, but all three groups, right? They received tamoxifen, chemotherapy and tamoxifen, chemotherapy alone, and then 5 years of tamoxifen. There must be no control group here. Careful. You got to read a little more closely. Notice it says, does not receive the treatment under consideration. What's the treatment being considered here? Well, look at the claim. The study claims that a combo of chemo and tamoxifen is more effective than tamoxifen alone. So that's what's being considered. That's what's being claimed here, that the combo is better than just tamoxifen alone. See how Group B received the combo, chemo and tamoxifen? Group C also received chemo and tamoxifen? Both these groups are treatment groups. B and C are treatment groups because they both receive the combo. Whereas A received only tamoxifen. That's the old way. This must be the control group. They're only receiving the old way. They're not receiving the combo, which is what we're considering in this question, a combo. So A is the control group because they're not receiving the combo, which is what's being considered in this question.